nice. It's really portable. In the good old days when I started doing this in the 70s, it wasn't. You needed a truck to move stuff around. I have no nostalgia for that. This is great. I can come in and set up in 10 minutes and have a good time, pick on people and have guinea pigs and all that kind of good stuff. What the biofeedback equipment does is let you see what's going on in your body at a level that usually you can't feel and you can't control. So it's a way that you can see what's up, which means if you can figure out what's going wrong, you can figure out a way to get it to go right. So it's kind of like the question earlier about pain. Probably everybody has had some sort of mishap in the course of their life, and you'll know if you're hurting, you're not sleeping. And of course, if you're not sleeping, then you're not healing very well, and it's a great cycle to get stuck into. In the clinic, because I work a lot with injured people, I spend about half the time doing pain control techniques, and the other half the time doing sleep techniques, and then the other half the time fitting them together, and then the other half of the time doing the more physiological retraining of whatever's been hurt so it heals better. That's kind of part of what biofeedback is about. In terms of sleep, you can do a lot of different things. Different techniques work better for different people. Just depends on them and what they're dealing with physically. Breathing techniques help for some people. Some people, they have busy minds. It's the bees that live inside your head kind of thing. So you teach people how to quiet the nervous system and shut off their thinker. In this society, that can be fairly tough because there's a lot of stimulation, but frequently that's the skill that people have to learn. Another thing can happen is between injuries and illness and stress, just in case anybody has any stress in their life. That tends to get stored in the muscles, which then affects circulation, which then affects how long you can stay in one position, which affects how long you can sleep, and a whole lot of stuff. So one of the things we end up doing a lot with people when we're working on sleep is we'll create some good sleeping positions. So I have this very adjustable treatment table in my office, and 5,000 pillows and a couple of different kinds of sleep wedges, and we work all this stuff out, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to stay asleep. The other thing that has to happen is, particularly if there's pain or some other physical problems, or illness or something, your body's not going to sleep all the way through. So you have to learn partly how to get to sleep, but also how to get back to sleep. And one of the things I've learned over the years is when you're teaching people those skills, you record them. So I actually, as I'm teaching people how to go to sleep, which is an interesting thing to do, I record the session, I turn it into a CD, and at the end I give them the CD, here's your homework, practice this. And some people will learn it and get to where they can just do it from memory and put themselves to sleep. Other people keep it in the CD player by your bedside when you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning because you're doing your taxes or you're hurt, and then you have a hard time finding another comfortable position. Put the CD on, start back over, put yourself to sleep. It's one kind of homework where it's great. If you don't make it all the way through, I'm actually happy. I do really long sessions, and it's okay with me if people actually go to sleep. The worst that could happen is they're going to have more energy, and the second half of their day is going to be a little bit better. I've never had anybody complain about that. So there's lots of different ways to tackle what you're dealing with. Some people learn visually, which is great for some kinds of biofeedback. You've got the computer screen. Most people in this society, however, tend to get really focused on what's going on outside their bodies. So then there you are trying to put yourself to sleep by learning how to put yourself to sleep, and instead you're learning how to keep yourself awake by putting yourself to sleep. So you're not going to have the feedback equipment at home. That's one of the things. Ultimately, you learn the skills yourself. You're the one who's in charge. CDs are great because that way you don't get in the trap of, okay, I've done this step for the technique this long, what's the next step? How long do I do the next step? Am I doing that step right? All that stuff. Got your instructions. For most people, You have to figure out how to quiet the mind, quiet the nervous system, release the day's tension, and usually by then you're asleep. If you're not asleep, there are other ways to do it. There are meditation techniques. For people who have their own spiritual preferences, there are techniques in every culture that I've been able to find where you can adapt or use it, or it's in there. At least every culture that I've run across, people have sleep problems. That's just kind of one of those wonderful things about being people.